I'll just really quickly some people know. Here we go. Very cool. It should be, there we go. YouTube is telling me that everything is fine, and I am now officially streaming, or have been for 30 seconds apparently. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Cool. And on the other side we have this window up so I can see chat, and I think we're good. I think we are good. Massages here and there. Very good. Alright. So, let's see, this is 300 years. This is the current project. Thing with the current project, okay, got another massage somewhere else. Thing with the other current project is that it's using the input system package new, which was giving me a little bit of trouble. So I decided to make myself a new scene just to do some quick tests and stuff. So if I click on play currently, and I click on A, it adds item bubbles, as you can see. There we go. If I click on S, it removes some bubbles. It's at predetermined places, and that I gave it like very specific angles to have up to 8 items without any problems. However, if I go above that number, they kind of squeeze together and they keep this maximum angle that I kind of liked. Cool. So I have this for my items, and if I click on my anchor and I move the anchor around, I put a little bit, I don't know if it's very visible, but I put a little bit of a fall through. It isn't instant, but there is like maximum values of how far it can move away from the like desired anchor location. And the reason for that is because, you know, the hand is going to move quite quickly, so I'm talking, I move the hand around. I don't want it to like clip through my own hand or get in the way of what I'm doing. So I put this maximum in, and if I change to rotation, I also have a little bit of a smooth effect on it. So it follows, and it kind of follows through the movement afterwards. I don't think I actually put a maximum on this, so we're going to see in VR how well that works. But it should be fine. It should be fine. Okay, so I'm just going to grab all this, put it into my main project, and we'll go from there. Scripts, inventory items. So yeah, I got some item scripts and I got some inventory scripts separately. I don't have the actual proper items and inventory set up so that you can drag drop them on. I decided I'm going to do that in our VR scene, but that's mostly because I just want to see like the movement on an actual hand. I think it'll be pretty good. I have it on play. Still have it on play. Here we go. And we're going to open this one up too. Scripts. And I should, yeah, they're both there. Items. It's stackable, non-stackable item. Drag drop this here. It's going to give me that. Replace them all. And over in scripts inventory, we're going to grab everything that I've created for that. Drag drop this in. Bloop. Place files and destination. Yeah, sure, let's do that. And I seem to have like a few extra, but I'll get to that. And finally, this is 300 years. I want this one. Yeah, let it load up. And I think I'm going to create some prefabs for these two things. I think it'll be just easier to deal with and move it around and make sure that I have the exact same thing in the other. Ooh. Wait, when I... Okay, I moved it out. I didn't copy it. I moved it out. Alright. Let's just grab everything. Copy, paste into inventory, and I'll do the same thing for items. Yeah, I moved them. I didn't copy them. Let's see if this comes back. Hopefully it does. It did. Yeah, it looks like everything came back. Okay, cool. So, let's create two prefabs, and that should make it a little bit easier to move stuff over. And this, drag them into here. I know they're very simple objects, but I have to do it separately? Okay. But, yeah, I'm lazy. Prefabs, assets. I don't have prefabs. Placeholders, Oka software, art, etc., etc. I don't have prefabs. Okay. Prefabs. I'll grab this and that, put it in here. Here we go. Yeah, I removed it again. It's fine. I don't need this scene anymore. I'll just close it. Don't save. It's absolutely fine. I moved everything over to my main project now, so this is my test scene. This doesn't matter. Let's go into Electric Boogaloo scene. Okay, XR rig. Offset perhaps, left hand, inventory, there it is. Let's go take a look at my hand. I'm in 2D mode, I do not want that. And I'm gonna replace this with the prefabs that we've created so that we can have them on the hand. And then I'll set it up so that we're using the actual like you know, VR controls and controller and all that jazz. There we go. So inventory is here. What do we have on inventory? That's this player. That's one thing. Inventory container, inventory input slot. Yeah. This was some stuff that was already there, but I'm doing it different. Let me double check the code. I don't think this is usable right now. No, it's also empty. Okay. The code is essentially empty, so we're not going to use that. Cool. I'll add on the left-hand controller. I should have prefabs now. I'll have the inventory anchor right here. And let me just check the location. Yeah. Okay. So let's move this out here. Let's put this to 0 actually, and we're going to have the location be somewhere a little bit more sensible. Here we go. Let's put it exactly where it was, and then we can move it around later. Okay. I'm also gonna have to do a few changes to the code. I'm realizing because I had it like at 1 meter away the other scene, and that's gonna be way too big for the hand. But let's just have it here for now. So we have this here, and we're gonna also have the player inventory. Oh, left hand control, left hand, that's the visuals. Okay, that's fine. This is telling me that I'm missing a script. I really wish when it did that, it would tell me which script it's missing. I think it's called follow or something like that. Let's take a look. Items, inventory, anchor follow. And remove that. Follow points. Let's have this. Max distance. Aha. So, where is this? Why is that up there? Oh, it's enormous. Huh. Okay. Cool. Let's just hide the hole for now. Yeah. And we're gonna move that down. We're gonna have... Start by having it at 0, 0. So player inventory is at 0, 0 for the hand. Interesting. Okay. And... I think X is what we want in this case. Let me just double check. That is going to be here. That is not the location we wanted. We want it here. Okay. So how far do we want it away? 125. Well, 0.25. And if I move this here, it's like 75. So let's say probably 0.25. 0.025 maybe? Yeah, 0.025 I think is the maximum we're going to want it to move. Position speed, rotation speed, I'm going to have to mess around with that when we get there. Also, let me just show the hungry hole once more. Right, okay. And the radius on this, let's actually hide the visuals for now. I didn't bring the material over, but that's fine. Let's have the... I can see that. Let's just move this in a little bit. So my hungry hole is going to be a little bit bigger than the circle we want. So let's make this... Ooh, that might be too big. 0.04. And the visuals themselves are going to be 0.04 as well. And we're going to show them once more rather. Okay, that's a bit smaller than I want actually, so let's make it 0.1 perhaps. Bigger than what I want. Alright, we'll get there. Sorry, 0.6. 0.6. 0.6. I think that's a pretty good size. It's bigger than this ball, but that's fine. As for the material, let's just have gray. Sure, it'll be generic gray for now. There we go. Item container, orb material, bubble. No, orb. Okay, let's make one then. Art. Let's have materials, inventory balls. Ooh. Okay. let's have more of that and less of that. Let's have it. You know what? 1, 2, 3 is a good number. Let's leave it like that. Sharpen that a little bit. Yeah, sure, that's fine, I guess. We'll properly do this afterwards at another time, probably. Let's have just a duplicate of the inventory balls. We're going to rename it Hungry. Orb Hungry? Orb Hungry. And inventory balls is going to be renamed to Orb Items. There we go. Hungry balls, this hungry hole, and this needs a thing, so let's put this. Oh, no, wait, I'm not paying attention. There we go. And the whole visual is going to use the orb hungry. However, we are going to make this like gray, not transparent at all, and just matte, super matte. There we go. I think that'll work. We have the orb, we have the collider around. That should be trigger, actually it shouldn't be collider. I think we're good. Let's just make sure that we... Yeah. Remove. There we go. Now I should be able to apply all. Apply all. I think that's okay. We'll test it. Position speed. The balls should be super far away now though when I add them in. Let me check the script how I did this. Update inventory angle follow. That is not the script I wanted. Hungry hole. Item container? Yeah. Display inventory spacing offset. Spacing angle, spacing offset. I think offset's the one I want, so let's say out here. How far would that be? Uh, 0.07, I guess? 0.07. And override that. Should be fine now. Location is out there, so it shouldn't be clipping into the hand. This is just a placeholder, but we can like here, move it to there, that location. Something like that, I think it is. Cool. And the old inventory we can now remove from the hand. So we're gonna have the ball now. Okay, so we have our hungry orb, we have the things that are going to go around it, and let's just test with the orb for now and see what it feels like and if it's, you know, functioning properly and all that. Also, I've set up my VR headset. There is a very real possibility that it isn't going to work when I try to turn everything on. I did actually like take the time to try getting in VR yesterday, last night, and that did work. So, I mean, it should. I haven't tested it in Unity, but I did test like I said last night. Alright, so it's turning on, and let's go check in VR. Let me just check one more thing. I do want maximize on play this time around. There we go. Everything is turning on. Alright, see you in a second. headset is now back on my face. So let's play and see what it gives. Alrighty. Okay, so it's going a bit too fast, I think. Or like the space I can give it to isn't enough or something, because it isn't doing the like nice follow through that I gave it. It just looks like a pom-pom over my hand. Okay, let's try to change it directly while this is in play mode. See what that gives us. Let's unmaximize this. Here we go, and we're going to select this one, I guess, and we're going to lower the speed. Let's put it down to 1. Let's also raise that up. Oh, you know why? Ah, this shouldn't be on that. Okay, let's put this like up here. There we go. Now if I put this up to 10. Okay, and I can't remember what I gave this as a value. There we go, it kind of follows now. Let's lower that some more, down to 4. No, that's still too far, I think. Okay. Alright, let's leave like that. Alright, I'll put myself back in full view so that you guys can see a little bit better. Yeah, so there's a bit of a fall through. It isn't perfectly on the hand, and I think I could give it like a little bit more space before it bumps into my actual hand. Or I could raise it some more and then give it some more space. I think I could go farther than that. This is a bit close. Alright, let's mess with it just a little bit longer. And then I'll try to... Door location. And then I'll try to... Okay. I'll try to remember all the changes I've made. Not bad. I actually kind of like the idea that it would be like literally hovering over your hand. I think Etienne came up with that idea and I like it. So let's have it like here. Kind of in the palm of your hand sort of thing. Yeah. Maybe put it even higher. And then I can go back to my thing and raise this up to like 6. Oh, it can go further than that. Come on. Yeah. Okay. And rotation speed, that's fine. I think that's fine. Could probably slow it down. And then I could like have a button. Yeah, this is for moving right now. Okay. I could have, let me put this back into, I want to see, I don't actually have my headset on. Let me put that back on. Okay, I've moved, apparently. Yeah, I like this. So like, oh, I'm turning around. Okay, let's go back to the house. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that's moving. I want to keep that. So this is grabbing. I think I want to keep that. What else do I have as controls? I guess the trigger? I'm not using the trigger. So I could do it so that like when you do trigger, the ball appears, and when you let go of trigger, it goes away. So like I could do trigger, grab the item I want, and then and let go of the trigger and the ball goes away. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I like the idea that it's like hovering over your hand now. And you can't see the balls because I don't have them on, but they would be like around here. So you could even look at it like this and they'll kind of sort themselves off here. Yeah, that looks good. I'll just make sure that it's nice and placed at the right spot. And, set that up so that when you hold trigger this appears and when you let go it goes away. That'll be the next thing I'm doing now. Alright, let me take the headset off. Everything falls. Ah, there we go. Oh, good. And I completely forgot to like keep my. Okay, whatever. It's fine. Let's have the inventory location be something like here. I think I decided. Maybe a little bit up. And oops. The inventory itself, we decided it has to be outside of this. Player inventory actually could be like all the way out there. That's fine. It'll be approximately there. Sure. Out here something. And did I do that for the location? I did not. Let's move that over. Something like that, I think. And we'll place it better afterwards. Cool. So we now have our little ball spinning in place, floating in place rather. The anchor is there. Let's clicked on the inventory. Let's make the ball a bit bigger actually. So I'm thinking 0.1. I think 0.1 was too big. Let's make it like 0.8 instead. 0.8, 8, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, sorry. There we go. And the container is actually oops. Where is it? Here we go. The collider is actually that big, so let's make that a little bit bigger. Make it like 6. So 6 from the center is where this starts. So max distance, that is fine. Position, speed, point, item container. So 0.7 is not going to be far enough from the center. Let's have it 1, 0.1 like that. Okay. Good. Save everything, and now back to the controller. Let me see. It's been a little while since I messed around with this. Direct integrate an interactor. Let me see how I did it for other things. So, interactor, layer, line renderer. Position, rotation, teleport, UI press. Ooh, it's been a little while since I've done this. Controller is here. XR controller. We have all this. These are predetermined ones, I think. So position comes from the position. Rotation comes from the rotation. Select action, that is, yeah. Select, active, UI press action, okay. Okay, these are all like predetermined stuff. Cool. So I think this is all being dealt with the controller. Let me double check in here. This is not something I did. No. I guess I could add to this. Translate anchor. Let's have like select. Select action, get select action, selected. Go down here, update input, select action, select interaction, set frame, okay. Select action, enable direct action. Yeah, that's turning it on and off. That is controller state. Is pressed. Okay. Okay. And let's just click on that real quick. XR grab interactable. Okay. So I used this to be able to grab stuff, and I used all the pre-made stuff then. I didn't make any myself, but I do have an XR grab interactable here. So what I can do, let me check a few things. Left hand controller. Okay, let's go to the item itself. Player inventory. It doesn't even have to be in the XR rig now that I think of it. It can just be free floating. Let's leave it there for now. Okay, so what is the thought here? It's going to turn on and off, activate and disactivate, and activate, whatever, based off of a trigger button. That's not what I want. So XR loader settings. Placeholders. Settings? No. Is that what I want? I don't think it is. No. Package settings, that is not either. Loaders, that is not what I want. Okay. Text Mesh Pro, sure, we'll leave that there. Scripts, hand. Okay. Ray Toggler, I'm sorry. Oh, this has been a little while. Alright, so on enable, active reference, action, started, toggle ray, and turn it off, toggle ray, and toggle ray takes in an input action callback context, and it is enabled equals to context controlled is pressed. That's literally what we're going to do. Where's this used? Apply status. If ray indicator enabled does not equal is enabled. Okay, updated. Yeah. Late update, apply status. This is literally what we're going to do, but for the ball, with the only difference being that instead of context, toggle ray, control, context control is pressed. What else do we have? Action. Control is pressed. Huh. Active reference. Okay. Ray toggler. Let me see how this works. Ray toggler. Of course. Shouldn't there be a find in scene button? Find references in scene. Here we go. Cool. So, ray toggler, ray toggler, ray toggler. Here it is. And it takes in the active reference, left hand teleport mode active. There we go. There we go. Okay, so go back to here. This is XR. We're going to just copy this, which is always the best thing to do in the world. And we're going to have, call it inventory toggler? Yeah. Inventory toggler. Thank you. Please open the one that I'm actually interested in. Inventory toggler. And we're going to rename everything. So inventory. There we go. Excuse me. Inventory interactor. X-ray interactor. Oh, no, in my case, I'm not going to want this. What I'm going to want is... Give me a second. I think I just made some errors. No. Okay, so we're going to go to the inventory. And we're going to put the inventory toggler on it. Okay. We will not require this. No, we will not require this at all. Let's let it load. And did my music just die? It did. Yes, I am still watching. Thank you very much. And we're going to remove this. And we're going to turn on and off everything under it, I think. All its children. I think that's what I want to do. Okay. Cool. So let's remove that and see what happens. This should be an error. That's fine. This is my next error. Okay. Let us have all the children in a game object separate from this. The problem is if I put the toggler on this and I turn this on and off, when it's off, the script isn't going to run, and I do want it to run. So what I can do, player inventory, is create an empty object, and I'll call it inventory put it here, and I'll put the player inventory in it. I'll remove the toggler from here, and I'll put the inventory toggler here, and I'm going to grab this one. So we're going to do a few backs, but instead of having a rate indicator, we'll have the game object, inventory, just player inventory equals null. That is fine. We're actually going to make it a serialized. You know what? Let's do it this way. So I don't have to mess around with doing get components, player inventory, and we're going to do the same thing. Is that not a thing? Is active? Active self, sorry. And is this this is a get. We'll do set active to be this. As such. Cool. Let's remove that. So the idea is when it is enabled, it's going to start checking to see if the action that we gave it has been started or it has been cancelled. And based off of that, it is going to be either doing, we're going to rename toggle ray actually. Toggle inventory, just so we don't have stupid names. Okay. It's going to do either this or this. And well, it's going to do the same thing either time, and based off of enabled is going to be changed based off of this. I don't actually think I need this, because right now I think I only needed to do it once. I could like literally take this, apply status, put it here, and then not have the late update. So when you press it, it does the thing. And when you let go of it, it also does the thing. And that is the only time it does the thing. I guess if I do it this way, the one problematic thing that could come up with is down the line if like I'm changing scenes, but I'm not planning on doing that, so let's just leave it this way. Inventory toggler, let's go over here. It should give me an active reference, and it should give me a game object underneath. There we go. And now I can take my player inventory, put it here. Let's put that outside of this. Alright, chair, wooden door, chair, table, picture, counter, fireplace, commode, chair, wooden door. Let's put that all in environment, as it should be. I don't like the naming convention I gave it, so let's have it player inventory. And this one is inventory visuals. Hungry hole, etc., etc. It kind of floats out there. Oh, this was an attempt at making a 3D thing. Yeah, let's just leave that not enabled. Managers, skybox director. Oh, that's the time of day stuff. We're not touching that for now. Okay, let's save this. And player inventory. Let's just check the inventory. I just realized when it's going to start these two things. I'm not sure it's going to apply status right away. So let's make sure it does as such. So on enable, make sure you apply status so that it starts off essentially. And active reference, now we need our active reference. So. Let's let it load, and I'm going to go to Ray Interactor because I want to know where this is. It is there. Aha! And that is part of that, so I have to do edit to get access to this. And if I go on left hand, I should have one for like action button. Left hand control grip pressed is select, active is trigger. Active is what I want. So I already have it. I just need to select my player inventory and go down to, did I say active? Active. And put that on. I'm just going to double check that because I'm having doubts now. So if I go into here, go to edit, left hand, it's on left hand. Active is trigger. Okay. Yeah, that should work now. Let's give it a test. Okay. Oops. Where's my other hand? Hand is here, the ball is not. And if I hold this down, the ball is there. And it is following. Oh yeah. And it's not just the visual of it, so I should be able to, like, when I get to that point. Ooh, this is an interesting problem. I can't actually go any further than that. Maybe I want the ball further out. Maybe I want it up here. Like much farther out. Okay, it's going into the hand anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna want this up here, and then I'll be able to be like, oh, I want this item. Oh yes, I definitely want it farther out. Otherwise you smash your controllers together. I could like put a little particle effect when it comes in and out. Oh, that could be good. Okay, very cool. So we now have our item thingy kind of following there. I'm gonna move it because it's driving me crazy that it's clipping into the hand. But after that, I guess the next thing will be to create an item of some sort, and then have the ability to pick it up, so I can hold it with the other hand. And then I'm gonna make a collision on this trigger to detect when an item is touching it and remove it. I'm not going to have like the things appear yet, I'm just going to do that. So let's move on to this. Ooh. Headset off. It's actually getting quite warm here. Uh-oh. It's like my eyes and brain, for some reason, do this thing when I have my headset on sometimes, where afterwards I'm like, I get used to the lag, I think, and afterwards I'm having trouble like realizing that the hands are actually my hands because they don't feel like they're moving at the right speed. But we're good now. Just gotta kind of open and close my hands and open and close my eyes a few times, and kind of the brain catches on, I think. Okay, my anchor is there, and my location was actually way too close. Let's just move it way out here. And the inventory itself is going to be at 0, 0. And the visuals can now be at 0, 0. I don't need them to be out there. It can just stay there for now. Okay. So, I moved that point. That was thing number 1. Thing number 2, we're making an item. So let's do that. Let's have a folder for inventory stuff all together, because it seems like I keep seeing everything at work putting all the names together, so I'm just gonna take up the habit. So inventory stuff, and I'm also going to have item stuff. Item. So let's make our first item. We should have some art. Yeah, there's a hoe. There's a hoe and there's a shovel. I'm definitely starting with the hoe though. Always start with the hoe, that's what I always say. Mesh collider is trigger. Okay, rigid body and physics object. Wait on pickup. I'm sorry, what? Okay, let me just turn this off for a second and see what happens if I click on play. Like, this isn't an object that comes from the VR stuff. Yeah, it's just falling to the ground. There's a LOD on it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Cool. But, okay. There's too much that comes with this prefab. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag drop a hoe like in here. Reset it. So we have, of course, everything on this. Oh no. Oh no. Cool. Let's pop this guy out. It's called Forge. What? Okay, sure. Forge. Don't question it. For with an O-R. Forge. Okay. And then there's that underneath it. That has another, of course it does. It also uses Forge. Alright. Forge. Maybe that's this lower LOD or something? I don't know. It looks like there's only one LOD, to be honest. Mesh render. Mesh render. Do I need the smaller LOD? Not for now. I'll leave it on. I can't remove it anywhere, but I'll just use this for now. Okay, so we're going to do that and do a mesh collider on it. Very simple mesh collider. It's actually going to use the geometry, I think. It's going to be simpler that way. We're going to have it be over here. And I'm going to create an empty object. I'm going to call it hoe. And this, I'm going to put it on it, and I'm going to call it hoe visuals. That is fine. We're going to put this at 0, 0, and we're going to move this a little bit. Actually, I just realized something. So I think it'll be fine. Let me just put the rigid body on this. Rigid body. I should have started from this. I should have started from a grab interactable. I'm a bit slow. Okay. So we have a box collider, and we have a rigid body, and we have an XR grab. So let's do that. Copy. And where is my hoe? Over here. We're going to add the interactable stuff, and we're going to put this up into the interactable area. And I'm just gonna see. I'm fairly certain this won't work, but I might be wrong. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so the mesh collider doesn't work because it is on this part and not on this part. So let's just grab this, copy component, we're going to remove it, and then we're going to go over here and we're going to just add this as a new, and it should just work, TM. We'll find out. We will indeed find out. No, that doesn't work. Actually, that doesn't work and I don't know why. Mesh is the hoe. We see the collider on it. It should collide. Okay. It needs to be convex, I guess. Don't question it. Cool. So that should work now. I guess it's good practice to test it. I'm going to put the headset on, but I'm going to stay sitting. Because there should be a lot of back and forth going on here. Okay, so let's us do this as such, so we see the screen quite well. Hashtag not alone anymore. Hello! Welcome to the party. Oh god, I need to look down, don't I? Alright, no, I actually need to put the headset on. There we go. And I turn on my hands. So yeah, my headset is on, so I no longer see chat. Hello? I may have to start this over again. The hand is just kind of floating. Try that one more time. There we go. And where's my other hand? Hands? There we go. We have hands again. Alright. So welcome, Etienne. I started adding in the ball. So now if you hold down the left trigger, the item ball appears. And for some reason in VR it's like glitching a little bit, but I think on my screen it'll be fine. It has the follow through that I was telling you about. It's going pretty well, I like it. So you can do that, grab whatever you want and go on and do stuff. And right now I am just creating my first item. Okay, so I'm now able to pick that up. Yep, thank you. However, not the right direction. Alright, let me not drop. Okay, not drop everything on the ground. And let's turn this off actually. Okay, attach transform. Cool, cool, cool. So I was holding it here. So whatever point is here is the actual point you're gonna grab the item from. So I'm going to rotate this 180 degrees and I'm going to move this out a little bit. Oh no. The mesh collider doesn't follow that if I do that. Uh-oh. Okay, I have to do this differently. Let's have it. There is like a attached transform area, The attachment point to use on the interactable will use the object's position if none is set. Okay, so I should be able to create an empty and call it attach point. No? Yes. And that's what you get for putting a collider on an empty. Yeah, well, I had it like on the object itself, but it was giving me some weird effects. Actually, would it still? Let's just leave it like that for now. It's fine. It's fine. Why can't I grab this and what? Okay. I'll do it this way then. Alright, and we're gonna try this again. Where are my hands? Ball. So now, still doing it the stupid way. Ouch. So it's still getting the point, even though I put an attach point on it. Probably because I didn't actually move the attach point in any way. It's then you distracted me. I'm blaming you. Yeah, I didn't move it in any way. Okay, 180 degrees in what direction? Here, this one. 180. And let's move it a little bit down. Let's move it to like there. Maybe here? Maybe like that. Okay, let's try that again. My hands, I grab, aha! Okay, and you see it's pointing out this way. So that is the interior of the hand. I want it to be like this. Okay. Okay. So this is currently like that. It is currently going this way. Let's try... I already forgot which direction I want it to turn in. Okay, let's try this. Just do some trial error. Coding at the end of a day, or game dev I guess, at the end of a day is always like a joy. That has changed nothing. Oh. Maybe it's put it the other way around. Glow stick. Alrighty. Maybe you can answer this, Etienne. If I put a collision mesh on my whole visual, right? And I have a rigid body on this, will it take the collider into account, or will the collider stay put, but the rigid body just keep going down? I'll be back later, gotta cook and feed the doggos. Oh, fair enough. Minus 90, let's try this. Okay. And now if I pick this up, aha! Okay. I may do something a little bit different with this. I can hold the ground now. But as you can see, I can't like drag stuff because the collider is a big triangle, which is not what I want. Okay, now if I go here and I turn convex off, it was determined that it just didn't work, I think, right? I don't know if they need to be on the same level together. Not enough Unity knowledge for this. Yeah, I have it in my head that for some reason convex doesn't freaking work. I have it in my head that that's not the case. Like if you have them separate, it is going to split. Like the rigid body is going to keep going and the mesh collider is just going to stay there. I might be wrong. Let's test it. Let's test it. So I have convex here. Copy component. Let's just remove it for now. Go over to the whole visual. Put it as a new, and it is convex. So let's just click on play and see what happens. Okay. And the hoe itself seems to have stayed. No. You are allowed to do that separately. Okay. Well, damn, we'll do it this way then. However, instead of, I don't know why it really wants me to use convex, to be honest. So I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to create two mesh colliders. One for the shaft and one for the head. And that should work. Don't worry about it. Okay, and I want the height to be bigger and the radius to be smaller. Center, direction, y-axis, x-axis, z-axis, perfect. Cool. I can make it smaller now. Let's have the center be at 0, 0, 0. Which is off for some reason. Okay, sure. Let's have the height be smaller. We're just going to do it in two separate pieces. That should just work. As such, that's about the right height, I think. Let's move it this direction. Shorten it a bit more. As such, I think that's pretty good. And now I want one for the head. So let's add I guess a box collider? It's gonna be a little weird, but it should work nonetheless. So Z, move over here and squish to about this thin, I think. Let's move that over the head part. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about all of this space though. So I'm going to try, I'm not going to move that. I'm going to try making that slightly smaller. It's not going to be perfect, but it wasn't before either. And I get to pull stuff with it now, which I think is pretty cool. Actually, let's work this out. Just like that, I think. That'll be fine. Okay. And we're also going to go into prefabs for... Wait, what? Yeah, that's what I thought. Hoe. My hoe item is now a thing. Mesh hoe, mesh renderer. Okay. Sure. So let's start by trying it out. Am I able to drag stuff with my hoe now? Oh look, it's doing weird stuff. Perfect. And now I can drag this cube. Oh yeah. I can drag the cube, move it around and stuff. If I put it down, it'll... Oh, that's good. Okay, we have our hoe. We have our hoe. The attach point is good. The hoe is in interactables. I can grab both of those things. And the hoe is now going to have something on it that makes it understand that it is like an object, an item rather. So let's go to items. This is a non-stackable item. So I have an item, I have non-stackable item, and I'm going to create a new script. I'm going to call it item game object for lack of a better name for now. Thank you, Visual Studio, for opening up. That's something that I'm not actually working on. I would like the item game object. There we go. So this is going to go directly on my hoe. It is going to have a few pieces of information, I think. Firstly, it is going to have a I guess an item, but I don't think I can drag drop that on. Okay, let me think how I actually want to do this. So I want my hoe over here to have a item game object on it, so that when I like put it onto my orb, it's going to say, oh, okay, this is an item. What should I do with it? And then fill in the orb based off that information. So that's all I need item game object to do. I need it to identify it as an actual item. Maybe I can rename it to like in-world item or something. Item game object might actually be a better name. Ah well. Game world item, and then to differentiate that with like the actual inventory items. The heck? Oh, I renamed it. I didn't recreate it. Okay. Rename that, and then I double click on that, and I change that. Game world item. Cool. So if I go on my hoe, it probably exploded because I renamed some stuff. Game world item. Because script cannot be found. Wonderful. Game world item mono behavior. I may want to, yeah, just start over. There's nothing on the script, so I might as well, right? Visual Studio, I wish you wouldn't do that. Okay. Create C# script and game world item. Thank you once again for not opening the thing I just created. Like, if at the very least it opened up with the thing you just created, that might be useful. As is, oops, I'm breathing into my mic, I think. As is, it's just painful. Okay, so this is a game world item. It's essentially saying, you know, it's essentially a tag saying that it is an item, and when I drag drop it onto my hungry orb, it is going to get a variable, and it's going to say, okay, cool, what information you got for me? And then I pass on the information. So let's close everything but this and take a quick look at my items. So an item is just an abstract class. It has an ID and it has a name, and it has a prefab apparently. Cool. That I might not actually do that way. That seems like a bad idea. I think I'm gonna have a mesh and a material, and hope that that works well. Yeah, let's do that. So let's have mesh, and it's gonna be underscore mesh. because at first I wanted to make this basic class that's an item and that is it, because then I can control like, you know, that it's really simple and stuff. I am currently wondering maybe I want to make this a scriptable object. Let's try it with scriptable objects. Okay, so I'm making this as a scriptable object, and I can make like multiple stackable and non-stackable items. So this will be a game object for now. If I don't like that down the line, I can change it. And the game object will be visuals. Let's just do equals null. Oops. And we're going to have visuals equals visuals. Perfect. So I have access to them, and we're also going to have serialize field on all of these things. Here we go. And I don't need to initiate anymore. So it's literally just going to be that. Now, I'm going to let that load. And then I'm going to try to make myself a non-stackable item. Here we go. So non-stackable item, and up here we want a menu item. Ooh, is that not how that's called? Menu? Excuse me? This is a scriptable object, is it not? Create menu asset, yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Save and go over here, and we're going to just paste that in and see what it gives me. Not found. Oh, I have to put it again? But I'm using item. Which is okay. Let's not ask too many questions. Sure. So file name equals, and then menu name equals. Cool. Let me remember what file name and menu name does. The default file name, okay, this is the file name for every new non-stackable. This will be non-stackable item. Just name it non-stackable item, and this is the menu name, how it's displayed. So what I'm going to want to do is right click, have access to items, and then select the type of item I want. So let's have items slash non-stackable. Cool. And I'll do the same for the stackable right away, but I'm not going to mess around with that for now because our hoe is not currently stackable. You cannot stack hoes. Oops. There we go. Let's do this, and we're going to call it stackable. Item type, actually. Item type stackable, and stackable item. And it's going to ask me to get Unity Engine, even though it's taking from items which has it, which I don't think that's right. Don't question it. Item types. Let's have a, actually I do want non-stackable, it'll be more legible. Item types and stackable. Okay, so if I go back to here, that's going to load for a few moments, and then I am going to close this up, close this up, close this up, and I'm going to go create a new thing called data, I guess. And in data, I'm going to create one called items. And then in items, I'm going to right click and I'm going to create, and I'm going to item types, non-stackable. And I'm going to fix that, but first I'm going to write ho. Here we go. Cool. And I'm going to find out why my non-stackable. Oh, okay. I must have deleted that without realizing it. Sure. Cool. And I'm going to go here and I'll select that once it loads. Thank you. And write down ho and grab the ho, and this is called ho. And the ID will be 0. This will be the first item ever. Cool. Ho, and we do have like all that on there. Very nice. And do I need anything else currently for the ho? I mean, down the line maybe I'll have like item strength and all that. Currently maybe not. I think that's all we need. I'm not even sure I need a name, to be honest, because of the item system that I have, but let's just leave it like that for now. Cool. So, thing number 2 done. I now have a system for the items to move item information around. Let's go here and item, game world item. Right. And let me just check something, because game world item game object. Okay, it's still there. And there's no difference. Alright, I'll get rid of it. Yep. Cool. So game world item is what I currently need, and the game world item is going to have a serialized field. It's going to have a private. Item. Item, literally just that. And it is going to be called item info, I guess. Sure, equals null, because years ago someone told me that if you don't do that, sometimes you can have issues, and I've never questioned it since then. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you on stream again. Oh, hello again. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Just continuing on the things that I was working on. I'll give you a tour of what I've been doing soon. I'm just going to try to finish my thought here. So, item info, this is a new item, it is there. Let's just do a public item info, and we're going to just use that item info for now and not question it very much. Yeah, so I started bringing back into my main project the things that I was working on the other day, and I'll show you what it gives for now. So make sure I maximize on play. Wait till it loads up. Okay, now I have 2 controllers. Let's see if my computer knows that. 1 controller and 2 controller. Hello? There we go. Yeah, the hands are correct. So yeah, what I did was I added in my first part to the inventory system. So I have the hungry orb here, that down the line when I'm going to take an item such as this hoe that I've been setting up and drop it onto here, it's going to like add it to the inventory, the thing that I was working on the other day where there was like the semicircle kind of thing around it. And then eventually I'm going to grab the orb for the item, and then the hoe appears in my hand and I can swing it around and all that jazz. So the orb is set to the trigger button, and I have it so that it's a slight slower movement than the actual hand, because I thought it was a cool effect. And I clamped the furthest possible positions so that, like, if I move my hand quickly, it doesn't actually go through the hand at any point. It's just pretty cool. It also rotates with this slight offset, so once I'm gonna have the orbs, when I turn my hand, they're gonna like move after, sort of thing. But for now, I'm just grabbing this. I got the hoe in one hand, and I can do my hoeing stuff and be like, oh, I'm tilling the ground. Next part, hoe. Once I put it onto the orb, it's going to disappear. So that's what I'm doing next. And my headset is off once more so I can see chat. Looks great so far. Tons of progress. Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. I'm only working on this like 2 hours a week, effectively. So it's going slowly, but you know, the reference material was this anime where this character wanted to live a slow life and just slowly do things, and after 300 years of doing a small amount of effort, she ended up becoming the most powerful thing. So that's the idea, right? 2 hours every week. If I do it for long enough, eventually I'll have something that somewhat resembles a game. It's pretty good. We'll see if that works out. Cool. So, I just finished with the item stuff for now. If I go on my hoe, I have to make sure that is set to that. If I go onto my hoe, yeah, I'm living the game, the reference material. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. I have my item info here, so I'm just going to grab the one I should have, which is the hoe. And on the hoe, we have an ID, a name, which I'm not exactly sure I need, but I'll have it for now, and then the actual visuals. Not exactly sure I need the ID or the name in this case, but Oh, hello. Jeez, okay. It's like an hour into stream is the time where everybody pops in. Hello, Slime. Okay. I'm getting distracted now. I need to make this disappear when it touches the orb. That's where I was doing. Okay. So, player inventory, my hungry hole is here, and I have the visuals for it there. So let's directly, that is the follow anchor, that is the toggle. The container is there. Okay, so I think I'm going to want the container itself. Container? I'm going to want the container itself to deal with that. Display item. Or do I? Maybe I just want to have it separate. Maybe I want it separate. Okay, let's do it that way. I'll do it separate, and then if I realize that it's a stupid idea, I can change it. No need overthinking it now. Inventory, I'm going to call a new script called the hungry hole. Yep, thank you, Visual Studio. I swear it didn't used to do that. Just when you create a new script, open up Visual Studio without the script actually being loaded. I'm sure that's like a new thing, but maybe I'm wrong. Alright, so I'm going to just double check something. This is a trigger. Alright, so we're going to have on trigger enter. Okay, I'm now realizing that what I'm doing won't make much sense, but let's do it anyway. I can fix it after. So, the hunger hole is going to try to grab the item. So let's just have like a private item for now, and we're going to call it current item equals null. And on trigger enter. Oh, the chat just updated all at once. I have a question. Yeah, go ahead, Slime. Al Santor says pushing forward all the time, even if a little bit at a time, is great. At least you're constantly checking things off the to-do list. That's true. That sometimes happens to me when I create a new script. It will open the editor, but not the most recent created file. But I have been using Writer instead of VS for a year now. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people saying that they've been using Writer. What is it? Is it better? Is there like benefits to it? I only know it by name. I use Visual Studio just because it came with Unity and I never really questioned it. I used to use MonoBehavior before that. MonoDevelop before that? The other one before that. So on trigger enter, I am going to say other dot get component. Actually, you know what? Current item equals other dot get components item game world item dot item info. Perfect. And then on trigger exit, we're just going to put this back to null. If current item equals other, this is probably a dumb way of doing it, but this is how I'm doing it. And I will read the questions after. One moment. So if that's that, this equals null. I think actually I should be doing like var item equals and then this. And if item equals null, return, and yeah, that'll be that. As such, and then item cool, and finally this. All right. Let me read the questions. For the part 2 of the VR hand tutorial, I can't get my hands to close. Okay. Yeah, Writer is better and has tons of features that are not in Visual Studio. If just using the refactor feature, it is worth switching. I happened to switch also because everyone was saying it was better. I see. Okay. For the part 2 of the VR hand tutorial, that tutorial was something I created a while back, and I realized since then that there's like a step missing. The best thing to do is to, on that video in the description, if I'm not mistaken, there's a link to the actual code with the fix for that issue. If you go to that code and just use that instead, it should work. And if it doesn't work, then yeah, send me an email. I'll drag you onto my Discord, and then one day, when I'm not like overbooked in the evening, I'll I'll get in call with you, and we'll sort it out. I don't have any problem like helping you out one-on-one. But the best thing to do if you've done the entire video and the hand isn't closing, is to grab that script from the description of that video. You're welcome. Okay, so, right. So the Hungry Hole right now, all it does is it checks if the item that is triggering it is something that has a Game World item. If it does, it then I don't have to do that. I can just drag drop. I can just put this here actually. Current item equals item, like that. Cool. It makes the current item that item, and then when it exits, it puts it to null. And I just made this check here in case you know, the ball touches two things at the same time and one of them exits. This check here rather. So that should be good now. The next thing I want to do is when I let go of the item that is in my hand, if it is the current item, delete it. And this is the part I think I'm gonna, like, what I'm doing right now doesn't make any sense. Okay. So let me check real quick. Like the item maybe? Because it has a grab interactable. How am I gonna go about doing this? First hover ended. Last hover ended. Hover select active. Select ended. Select exited. Okay. This might be what I want. What does this do? This is on the hoe itself. Select ended, I think. Yeah, so when I let go of the item, it'll be probably this one. That seems to make sense. So I have a Unity event thingy here that triggers whenever select ended is done. So how would I go about telling the Hungry Hole that that's happened? It is when you release a selected on the object. I mean, I would be doing it on controller, but you can do it this way. You would be doing it on the controller? Yeah. I think you're right. So where's my controller? Oh, it's great. It's like, yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock. I was gonna say my brain is now starting to die out on me. Left hand. Right hand controller. audio events, haptic events, interactor events, direct interactor. Hover ended, select ended. So you would say that you would do it here, I guess? Yeah, let's do that. Okay. It has to be on the right hand, I realize, because the ball is on the left hand, so it's never going to go into the hungry hole. So let's just add this here so I remember it. And go over to the hungry hole. Oh, did I not add that on? Here we go. Hungry hole. And I'm going to... Oh, you know what? I don't want the item here. I want the actual game object, I think. Or maybe this? Maybe this. Game world item. Okay, so current item, this shouldn't change much other than that. Here we go. And now I'm going to have myself a public void. I'm gonna call it eat item. Eat item. There we go. Perfect. And when you eat the item, it's going to delete the game object completely for now. So let's do that. No, not that. Sorry. Here we go. This one. This one dot game object just for now. Actually, it's destroy. It's not set active. So destroy. Current game object. Here we go. And we're also going to make current item equal to null. Maybe do that first. Equal null. And I'm keeping this around because I'm eventually going to want to like take that information from the game item, current item rather. For now, we're just going to delete it. So hungry hole. Let me check my hoe once more. It is on the base, so if I delete the game object, that should work. And the next thing to do would be on the right hand controller. You were saying hungry hole, drag drop this here. Hungry hole, eat item. Here we go. Alright, let's test this out. Break my controllers up, maximize on play, and go into VR. Somehow got hair in my VR headset, and I'm maybe I should be bald. Maybe that'll be easier. Okay. Here we go. So my ball is here. My keyboard is there. Back up real quick and move ourselves to there. Perfect. Try this again. So my ball, my hoe. If I touch the hoe to the ball, nothing happens. If I let it go, nothing happens. Okay, time to debug. Oh, you are trying to end to read input. What is that? What is this? Oh god. Item container. Oh, yeah. Okay, I need to fix that. Yeah. I was using these for my tests. They no longer are useful. Let's just comment them out now. Yeah, we don't need that. Should add a quick color switch on the ball when your current item is not null. That is a good idea. That is a good idea. Where's my ball? Hungry hole. Also, no need to null before destroying a game object. Yeah, I guess it's not in a list. It's not a list or anything like that. I guess I could just do that. Let's kill it. Okay. And we are going to do that. So, the visuals is separate. That's what I thought. And we're going to go up here, serialize field, private, mesh render, I guess, and visuals. Here's a question for you. Now, years ago, one of the guys I was working with told me that because he didn't put equals null on his private variable that was serialized, it ended up giving him trouble. Have you ever heard anything like that? Because I have been like doing it ever since, and I still to this day doubt that the validity of that. That if you don't put equals null, it could give you issues down the line. Let's just. Not sure. I never do it. Okay. Yeah. Let's bring this back and just do a private material. Init mat. Sure. Why not? I'll do it. I'll just keep doing it. It's not that bad. So init mat equals. What am I doing? Right, visuals. Visuals, material. Just grab the first material, that's fine. So that's what it looks like originally. And because it is the only thing that has this material on it, I'm not going to worry about cloning the material. Just leave it like that. And on trigger enter, we are going to let's do this differently. Let's put this up here and I say if it is null, do that, and then at the very end I'm going to just change the thing based off of the material based off of, like, depends on what you are trying to compare. I think there's only one case where it matters if your variable is a bool and don't want it to default to true or false. That's true, but for the most part equals null in the beginning is redundant. Yeah, I think what he was telling me is that he was looking at in the code and he was trying to figure out why the heck it was I guess it wouldn't be the case for null, but he was trying to figure out why the heck it was acting differently than what he was seeing in his code, and the reason was in the inspector he had changed it for something else and he hadn't realized it. I think that's what it was. Writer would actually yell at you when you write that because it's redundant. Really? Okay. I know at work we don't put these if they're redundant. If they're useful, then they are there, and if it's redundant, it's not there. But on my own time, I've been putting there ever since I worked with that guy because I'm like paranoid that I'm gonna spend an hour just trying to figure out what's happening. But I agree, it's not important. Right, material. If it is wait, dot color? Yeah, dot color, let's make it green. Color dot green. Cool. And this isn't right, but you know what? Screw it. Let's fix it after. This will be the init mat color. Cool. If current item color does not equal null. not equal, did it backwards, null. Okay. And if that is the current item, actually that will go in there, and then we'll have a nice overlay. Destroy current item not game object. Actually, I think no, it wouldn't. I was gonna say I think I know why, but that's not the case. Okay, let's just play it and see what happens if the color actually changes the first part, and then we'll move on from there. Actually, it's getting pretty close to 9 o'clock, so I don't think I'll go that much further tonight. Oh, got that. Yeah, I can tell like I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing anymore, so I think it's getting to be a good stopping spot. Yeah, I know, buddy. Okay. Alright, so I grab my hoe, I put up the ball, and if I touch it to the ball, it's just not doing anything at all. So it's not detecting the on trigger enter. Let's put this down for a second and just go back to here. Oh, what is this? Object reference is not set to an instance of an object. Hungry hole 51. This is not set to an instance of an object. I'm sorry, what? Cool. Right. That distracted me. Okay, let's not worry about this and worry about this for now. So current item does not equal null. At this point, it should have something in it. This is on trigger enter. So I think what we're going to do is like breakpoints all the way, attach, and see what happens. Yeah, before the destroy, check if it's null or not. If not, null destroy. Yeah, that's a good call. But first, I just want to know why this isn't turning green. Oh. What? Okay. It wasn't actually showing me the game for a second. Oh, it's lagging like crazy. It doesn't like me debugging. Oh god. And it has not stopped. So on trigger enter is the part that isn't working right now. Alright, let's take the headset off before I go crazy. Because that is dizzying. Like, I can see in the screen, it's not what I see in VR. Okay, so thing number one, you're right, let's do that. If current item equals null, return, don't do the thing. Okay. Oh, that was dizzying. Okay, so it's not going into this at all. On trigger enter. This is on the hungry hole. So let me just check the... Oh, actually I shouldn't be doing this while it's in play. Hungry hole on this guy. Hungry hole. Sphere collider is trigger. On trigger. Huh. It's not the issue I thought I was going to have. Okay, let me see the trigger area. The trigger area is fairly large. And it is the thing that is moving. There is no other collider on it. Okay. On trigger enter. It's not triggering that at all. Is my brain just playing tricks on me? On trigger enter. When a game object collides with another game object, Unity calls on trigger enter. On trigger enter happens on the fixed update function when two game objects collide. The collider involved are not always at the point of initial contact. Note both game objects must contain a collider component, right? One must have is trigger enable and contain a rigid body. Oh. If both game objects have collider trigger enabled, no collision happens. The same applies when both game objects do not have rigid body components. Oh. Yeah. Sure, let's create a rigid body for it. It's going to have not use gravity. It's just going to be very vanilla. Constraints, no. Let's just try that, maybe? Maybe that's what's happening. Yeah, at least one needs to have it rigid. Actually, at least one has to have. So it doesn't have to be the collider itself, does it? Because my host should have a rigid body on it. Yeah, it does. It's not at the same place as the colliders, though. At least one needs a rigid body. Okay. And the whole on the whole rigid body and collider. Yeah. It could just be the whole though, can't it? Is kinematic. Yeah, I think that's what I want. It's all code that's making this move around, it's not physics, so okay. And if I grab my hoe and I touch it? Nope. Nope. I thought maybe it was like okay. Let me see. Um right. Right here. It has a rigid body. It has a collider. It's set to is trigger. Both have a rigid body and collider now. At least one needs to be a rigid body. And a collider. On the hoe, rigid body and collider. Yeah. So if I go to the hoe, it has a rigid body and it does have colliders. Can they not be on two different game objects? Maybe that's what's happening. Let's try it. Copy component, let's go into the hoe. We're going to add paste component and copy component. They can be on children object. Well, then I'm not sure why it isn't working. That shouldn't be a problem. Huh. Oh, my music stopped, I think. There we go. Let's see. Switch one of the hoe colliders to trigger for a second. Yeah. To trigger. Let me do that. Let me add a trigger. Maybe that's a good idea. And I'll just make the radius a bit bigger. Such as this. So we have an outside that is literally just a trigger and it has a rigid body on it. And then we have an inside that's like a collider so it doesn't pass through the world. Hungry Hole has a rigid body because why not? Alright, let's try this. Can I see my hands? I can see the hands. I can't see the hole though if I do that. My orb, my hole. Oh, there we go. Oh, it doesn't turn off. Well, that's a second problem. Deal with that after. But yeah, it does turn on. So it now detects it. It doesn't destroy it, which is fine. We got one problem down. So I'm gonna remove this from the hole and see if it still works. If so, I guess it'll just mean that it's gonna work with triggers. That's it. That's not how that's supposed to work though, I don't think. So grab the hoe and there we go. So there we go. And now I have to get it to turn off. And figure out why it doesn't destroy it. But let's start with the turning it off. So this is now working. And on exit, also going to do this. If it eats the object, you know, change the color. I think it should work. Actually, it should work on that, shouldn't it? Okay, so on trigger exit, you get the item. If the item is null, maybe it's this it doesn't like. Let's do this. Oop. Let's do this a stupid way. Check if the names are the same. And if that works, then I'm not going to question it. Instead of the material, I'm going to make it a color. So color, init color. For now, let's make it white, I guess, by default. Color dot white. There we go. Perfect. And is material dot color. Cool. Okay, cool. So let's try this. Right now, it should be turning on and off. Even if it's not the best way of doing it, it should still work. So let's test it. Bloop, got the little ball. Bloop, and green, and not green. Green and not green, and green and drop, and that part doesn't work, but it did change color, which is what we wanted. Okay, another problem down. What's the next one? This next one is here. Current item equals item. Let's see if it goes into that, I guess. Actually, let's see if it goes into it at all. Oh, it's gonna lag like crazy, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, well, let's do it. Lag on.
ball. Oh my god. Did I just... Oh. I think I know what's wrong.
I just touched it and it went into eat item. So when I grabbed something, it went in. Breakpoints in VR are no fun. Yeah. So my issue, I think, let me say right hand controller, is that I put it on the wrong one. That'll do it. Okay, so ho. Ho. No, not ho. I'm sorry. Hunger hole. Hungry hole. Hungry hole. Eat item. There we go. This should work, question mark? Let's find out. And if this works, then I think I'm going to be done for tonight, but next time I'll come in, I'll actually have the information for the hoe appear in the balls that go around it and have the little visual appear with it. And I think that will be freaking amazing. So, hoe, green, let go. It disappeared. Oh, yes. And this stays green, so I'm going to want to, actually, one last thing for tonight, have it so that when it eats it, you know, actually remove it from the world. Change the color is what I was trying to say and failed miserably. Cool. Destroy, and there we go. Very, very cool. My stream schedule. So I guess it unofficially is like every Tuesday from 7 to 9 is when I stream. This has been something that I've managed to keep up for most of the last few months. There are, of course, sometimes when like we're currently, well, we just sold the condo that we live in and we're having a house built. So there are times where it's not possible and I won't have a stream those nights, but by and large, yeah, every Tuesday at 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. I'll write it down. That's PM, of course. PM. There we go. So Tuesday, 7 to 9 PM Eastern Standard Time. Yep. Feel free to drop by. Say hi. Let me know if I'm doing things a stupid way. I'm always happy to hear that, because then I don't do it the stupid way afterwards. And admittedly, I probably am going to do it the stupid way because it's Tuesday at 7 PM, and I'm brain dead most of the time once the stream starts, so... yeah, that's always fun. Like what I was working on last time, turning around in circles for most of 2 hours, and then on the weekend I pulled it out for 5 minutes, fixed the code, and that was that. I just put it on my calendar for next Tuesday. Oh, cool. Well, I'll see you then. However, for tonight, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it for tonight. So thank you guys for joining me, and yeah, see you next week, I guess. Bye bye.